Wow, Google's been kind of busy of late. The biggest story, and I loved the Google blog announcing it, is that basically Google Fiber, I mean,
dead.
It's as dead as you can be. Although the story from Google is more like, hey, isn't this great?
That was an amazing headline. Advancing our amazing bet by shutting things down.
And
that is,
coming from the guy who's leaving.
Exactly.
I'm going to advance the bet, and it's kind of it's kind of funny because at the end of it he says, "And oh, by the way, I quit."
It's so great. This is going so well.
I'm so sad about it, though.
This is a post from Craig Barrett, who was the CEO of Google Fiber. They had announced, or at least we had heard that maybe it wasn't an announcement, maybe it was a rumor that they were going to lay off a significant number of people. This confirms it. This blog post says we are not going to expand Google Fiber to any of the markets that were on the list, and I'm out of here.
But it says our business is solid. Our subscriber base and revenue are growing quickly. We expect growth to continue. But we're shutting things down and firing people, and I'm quitting.
Yeah, Verizon stopped Fios as well.
It's like Fios, they stopped too. I mean, do you think 5G does replace this at some point?
We had this conversation when the rumor first came out, and I think that was maybe it was Ben Thompson of Stratechery. He's very good on this kind of strategic stuff. I think it was he who said, "Yeah, this is Google finally acknowledging that it's too expensive to put Fios in." Yeah. It's never going to turn a profit. And
he mentioned it again. I think it was today, and he said basically Google overpromised and had no concept of what they were going to have to try and build. You know, you can't just roll out fiber. This is a massive, massive investment of time and resources. You need specialized people doing it. It's a gigantic thing that they said they were going to do. It's no surprise they basically admitted they can't do it.
What if the real purpose of this was to get the other internet service providers to wake up, smell the coffee? In fact, in the markets, Google did offer gigabit. So did their competition, Comcast and Time Warner.
And it did do that. It did do that.
So what if they're really saying mission accomplished?
But was that their main goal? That seems hard to believe. Because they spent, a significant amount of money.
Right.
Just to prod their competitors? I mean, that would be a pretty selfless act, even for Google.
This is really the work of Ruth Porat, the new CFO. Yeah. All across the board, throughout Alphabet, the story goes that Porat is rationalizing these moonshots. I think initially, Larry and Sergey had just a lot of money. And I seriously believe this. That they had you probably know better than anybody, Jeff, because you were interviewing them at the time and stuff. But I feel like they just said, "Hey, we got a ton of money. Let's do something interesting. Let's do something good. Let's do flying cars. Let's do autonomous vehicles. Let's do Project Loon." We don't care if we make money.
I think Matthew's right. I think there was some notion to influence the industry, and they succeeded. I mean, look at the AT&T. Time Warner, you have Stevenson saying net neutrality is a done deal. It's over.
That's awesome. Oh, it's over, a done deal. Not it's a done deal, we accept it.
I think so, right?
Wow. Yeah, I guess. So
no,
let's
it's
talk
over.
about that
we don't have to pay.
But before we do, I do think that what happened to Google is reality set in, and they realized that ads weren't going to keep them. That they needed a second chapter, and they've now with Alphabet. And with Ruth Porat and with Sundar Pichai and Larry Page, they've all kind of unified to say, look, we got to find our next chapter. We can't just frivolously create flying cars. This has to be a business.
Although I have to admit, I regret, or I'm going to miss that side of Google, the side where they just decided to do crazy, ambitious, even impossible things. Even things that didn't appear to make a whole lot of sense.
Thank God we still have Elon Musk.
so basically what you're saying is Sergey is now Woz.
Yeah, don't you? Well, what do you think, Jeff?
What do you mean?
In the sense that Woz was the creative genius, and then he kind of got pushed farther and farther and farther off and out. Sergey is Mr. Moonshot. Larry loves moonshots too.
You could make the argument it's just maturity.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Well, maturity's boring.
It is boring.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
That's why innovation doesn't happen from incumbents.
Yeah.